Hi, good evening. My name is Tanya Lynn Bennett, and I serve here at Drew as the Associate Dean for Vocation and Formation in the Theological School and as the University Chaplain. I am ordained in the United Methodist Church, and I have my PhD in the sociology of religion. I primarily teach in the areas of spiritual and vocational formation, I should say. And when I get to teach in my sociology discipline, I teach around the intersections of religion, race, gender, and generation. I'm glad that you could join us tonight. My career vocational path was not at all linear. I want to make that very clear. And in fact, I had a whole career in corporate communications and nonprofit management before I came back to Drew. And I came back to Drew just to take a class or two in youth ministry to become better at my lay ministry in my local Methodist church. I had no intention of being ordained. Or certainly pursuing a master's and then a PhD degree. However, when I got here, I was really strongly encouraged by voices around me, my professors, other advisors, and of course, church leaders to really move forward and to claim my gifts and graces and to use them for the betterment of the world, which I know sounds grandiose, but as I say in my sociology classes, a systemic injustice only shifts when we change our corner of the world. So my interest in my PhD work, which had to do with the research of young women's friendship in a millennial age, had to do with the phenomenons that I was seeing occurring on campus as I was serving as the university chaplain at the time. And a sort of sense of disconnect and loneliness and isolation, which we could attribute to social media and of course technology, but I think also has something to do with the culture in which we live. So I really wanted to think about how my work as a university chaplain and now in the dean's office working with students to develop their own vocational aspirations and professional development really leans into relationship building and networking and being thoughtful about that. And how do I make connections between our students and with people in the professional world that will not only advance their vocational careers, but also will support them in becoming more and better of who they are. I definitely took advantage of internships and experiential learning. I really did reach out to people who were doing things that I thought I might like to be doing. But actually, most of my vocational pathway for the last 20 years has been people reaching out to me and calling out to me to step into spaces where they thought I could be effective, where they thought I brought some experience, where they thought I had some connections that would be important. I feel deeply committed to developing religious leaders who will bring an important voice and impact an ethical perspective to whatever space they find themselves in. And increasingly, even our students who complete an MDiv, a Master's of Divinity degree, may find themselves in secular locations as a religious leader in spaces that would be non-traditional for religious leaders to be serving in. I would invite alums to stay connected with Drew as much as you can. Take advantage, particularly now that we're doing so many things virtually, and so are much more accessible to a much wider audience, that you take advantage of being present with Drew, that you lean into continuing educational opportunities, that you come to lectures, that you come to panels like this where we might make some connections, and then you continue to think of yourself as growing, always learning, always expanding, always, that there might be a new opportunity out there for you too, that someone might call you into. I often quote Frederick Buechner, the famous theologian, who says that the place God calls you to is the place where your greatest joy meets the world's greatest need. And so it is always my hope for our current students and for our alums that we continue always to explore and discover and become. May you be well.